you hit the red button?
It's on.
Okay.
It's recording.
Okay. Cool. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name's Aaron, and today we're talking about something super important if you want to build a successful career as a giggy musician, and that's how to get callbacks. Whether that's from booking agents, bands, or some type of music project, spoiler alert, it's not just about being the best player in the room. Now you might be an amazing guitarist, drummer, vocalist, whatever, but if you're not showing up in the right way, those opportunities can slip through your fingers. So let's dive in. First up, let's talk about being prepared. I can't tell you how many musicians I've worked with over the years who were incredibly talented, but just did not prepare properly. And that can be a deal breaker. You could be the fastest, most technically advanced player on the block, but if you don't come prepared, that's a huge red flag for booking agents and bands. They want to know that they can count on you. Being prepared doesn't just mean knowing your parts. Sure, you gotta know your parts, but it's also about coming to rehearsals, shows, or auditions with everything that you need. So have your gear in check with a backup plan if something goes wrong. So don't be the person that shows up for a session and realizes they didn't even bring a pick or something like that. You'll be remembered, trust me, but probably not in the way that you want to be remembered. I remember I was asked to play drums for a local artist here in Kansas City, and this was the first time I was playing with this individual, and we were not going to have a rehearsal before the actual gig. So I show up to the venue, I start loading in, packing up my drums, and I realized to my horror that I had forgotten my kick drum pedal. Now, luckily, this was a local gig. I could drive home. I had enough time to grab it and come back, but still it was so embarrassing. And I know that it did not instill a lot of confidence probably in the artist approaching the set list for the gig. Luckily, I did play well, and they asked me to come back and play more gigs with them since, but still, come prepared, make sure you have all of your stuff for your gear. Now, getting back to learning parts, make sure that you know your material ahead of time before a rehearsal. Don't waste everyone's time fumbling through the songs. Come prepared the moment you step into the room and be ready to go. It shows respect for everyone's time, and it puts you one step closer to getting that callback. Next up, let's talk about reliability. Now, I don't care how good you are. If you're late all the time, or if you flake on rehearsals or gigs, that will definitely be the last time that you work with that agent or that band. Now, this is one of those things where your reputation does matter a lot. You want to be the person that people can rely on. Booking agents and other musicians want to know when they call you for a gig or a session or whatever, they want to know that you're going to show up on time. They want to know that you're going to be ready to work and you're going to be ready to deliver. Now, yes, life happens and sometimes stuff gets out of your control, but if you're consistently showing up late, constantly rescheduling, or disappearing without communication, that is a red flag. Being early is also a great way to stand out. Now, that extra time to get comfortable, to set up, to mentally prep goes a long way, and believe me, it will make an impression. All right, this next one is a biggie, and that is professionalism. It's so much more than just how you play your instrument or sing or whatever. It's how you interact with the people that you're going to work with. So are you respectful to everyone in the room, from the booking agent to the sound tech to the other musicians? It's important how you carry yourself with professionalism at all times. Now, this is especially true in group settings. Being easy to work with is huge. A lot of musicians are fantastic players, but they make things harder than they need to be because they have a bad attitude or poor communication skills. So don't be that person. Here's a simple thing you can do. Respond to emails and messages promptly. If you're juggling a lot of projects, it's easy for communication to fall through the cracks, right? But that's not an excuse to ignore someone. Agents and bands will notice whether you respond quickly or if you leave them hanging. So professional, timely communication shows that you respect their time, and that's a big part of being a dependable musician. And finally, let's talk about attitude. Now, this is one of those things that everyone notices, even if they don't always talk about it. The people you work with will remember you for your attitude just as much as they'll remember you for your talent. Now, you could be the best player in the world, but if you're difficult to work with, or if you bring a negative energy to a rehearsal or a gig, you probably won't get the call back. I can't tell you how many musicians I've seen who are incredibly skilled, but they just couldn't get past their own ego. And it's such a turnoff. Like, booking agents, other players, and band leaders would much rather work with someone who is humble, who's positive, who's a team player, than someone who's just constantly complaining and putting others down or just being difficult. In fact, I've seen bands bring in, you could say a lesser player just because they had a great vibe and a great attitude. They were fun to work with, and that makes a big difference. So stay positive, bring that energy into every room. Be the musician that everyone wants to have in their project. So to recap, if you want to get callbacks from booking agents and bands, etc., it's not about being the absolute best musician in the room. It's about being prepared, being reliable, professional, and having a great attitude. Now here's the thing, booking agents and other musicians aren't just hiring a player, they're hiring a person to work with. So make sure you bring your A game to every rehearsal, gig, and session. Show up early, be prepared, communicate clearly, and keep that attitude in check. When you do that, I promise you the callbacks will come, and you'll build a great reputation as someone people want to work with. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this video helps you land those callbacks and keeps you moving forward in your music career. Now, if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. Let us know if you've had any experiences where one of these things helped you land that gig, or the opposite, lost that gig. All right, catch you in the next video, and remember, be the inspiration that others need to create. Hold on, let me...
Now where is it?
I'm gonna have to add some bloopers.
Please don't.
I'm gonna have your face just right in front of that. Huh?